Hello and welcome to my Monday night live stream over here on the Substack. And people are starting to trickle in. So maybe we'll just start with a song and we'll get to the chatting uh, after we let some people start to show up. As usual, please feel free to ask any questions in the chat and I will answer them to the best of my ability. And if anybody came on Saturday to my kind of test run of this, I think it's a little bit brighter in here now, which I hope is the case. I hope it still sounds good. I'm using the same microphone. It's a little further away, so we'll see. But I'm also trying to figure out how to keep the glare from reflecting in my glasses. So it's always something, right? Also, I think if I'm understanding this correctly, the way that Substack seems to work is that if you're watching this on a computer, you can see like the whole kind of spectrum here, and you can see the piano, you can see the bass, you can see the paintings. But if you're on a phone, it's just this much. So trying to get more. I know people want to know how the chords are for some of these songs, so I'm trying to, I'll try to play more like that when I can. What to play, guys? What should we play? What do we play? Let's start with like something finger picky. White lines come at a dime, like a calm summer sea. You say these monsters, they've been watching me. Midnight by candlelight, just my heart in a spoon. And all my insides, they will howl at the moon. The music begins, violins. Sad state we're in, we're so thin. Your tattoo covers needle bruises like you won't ever know. Long sleeve shirt sleeves like it's 20 below. Glass eyes don't recognize, like you can't even see. You say these creatures, they've been haunting me. There is no sand in my skin. Sad state we're in, we're so thin, we're so thin, we're so thin. It's done me in. If you guys could give me some feedback real quick on how the audio sounds. I'm using this microphone, and I just want to make sure that everything sounds okay. I don't really have any way to check that. So okay. So these sort of like these live streams, I think, end up being more as much about talking and asking questions, and I pitch them. Okay, good. Sound is good. That's good. I kind of pitched them as an AMA, and I don't know how many questions people will actually have, but I did have something I wanted to discuss. So I have made a decision to move. I've been wanting to do like a weekly live stream thing for a while now. Uh, just to sort of like, it's as much as about me like kind of keeping my chops up and keeping sort of like mentally focused on what I'm doing as much as it is with like interacting with people and getting feedback because I'd like to know, what you guys like, what you don't like, that sort of thing. Um, and I was doing it on Thursdays on Facebook because I did some research that said that that would be the best time of day for it's interesting. I actually like I used I typed it into AI to like chat GPT to like see like what would be the best time for Matt Pryor to do a live stream. And it said to do it on Facebook on Thursday nights. And it gave me all these reasons. I don't remember what they were. Uh, but one of them was your audience still uses Facebook, which I thought was a funny way to phrase it. Cause I think that that's probably true in that I think a lot of us are a little bit older, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, so I kind of found that I don't particularly like Facebook. I use it for work. Um, I don't mind Instagram, even though I know it's the same company. But I've really kind of enjoyed. I've been doing this Substack thing for about a year now. I started it at the beginning of this year, and I've really kind of enjoyed the platform of it as well as the sort of like control and the curation that I get to have here in the sense of that like it's not just sort of open to anybody. You have to like want to be here in order for me, in order to be like a part of this. And so I think it makes it more of like an intimate like kind of gathering of like-minded people as opposed to just some like random, because I think because of the nature of the Get Up Kids and stuff, like sometimes people have only heard of me in that context, and that's not what I'm doing here. There's plenty of opportunities to see the Get Up Kids. We've been on tour for a year and a half. So what I'm doing here is more like it is exclusively my own stuff. And so I wanted to kind of stay within in a format that was sort of like more for the people who wanted to be here, right? As opposed to like kind of Facebook sort of feels like you're cold calling people out of the phone book. Like you're just like opening the phone book and like putting your finger down. And then the reason that I moved it to Mondays, but is because I'd like to keep this up when I'm touring as well. And I almost always have Monday nights off. And so Monday nights traditionally are like the worst night of the week for gigs. And so usually Sunday night is what you might refer to, some people refer to as Roadie Friday. So Sunday night's like party night for people who have Mondays off. And I think there's one show on a Monday on this coming tour, on the Salton Sea tour, and that's the show in Los Angeles, ironically enough. And I don't know what we'll do. We'll figure something out to do for the live stream on that day. So that's what I wanted to talk about. That's why I moved it away from Facebook and over to Substack. I kind of feel like this is going to be the place where I'm going to house most of my stuff from now on. As far as like, you know, content goes, even though I don't particularly love referring to myself as content. But so yeah, I like this medium. I don't actually know ethically who owns this platform. And so I'm a little scared to find out because I'm sure it's not great. But it is what it is. And so I hope that you guys will continue to join me here. I'm going to do this every Monday night at this time, and hopefully can still continue to do it while I'm on tour. But in the meantime, the if you guys have any questions for me, please feel free to ask them. I'm gonna play another song. Someone earlier had requested Idaho, and that's one of the ones that the kids and I, if you don't know, I have a new record out called The Salton Sea. It came out last month, and me and two of my kids are going to be going on tour in January and performing as like an acoustic trio. And, and like, it's a very like vocal, harmony sort of driven thing. But one of the things that is pretty cool is I can take some of these older songs, like these older New Am songs, and have them sing the harmonies on it, and including the song Idaho, where there's this kind of vocal round, this sort of like row your boat round thing. Does anybody else only think of row your boat when you think of a vocal round? Maybe this is too inside songwriter baseball, but that's what I always think of when I think of a round. So anyway, they can do that with me, but I obviously can't do that by myself. So I'll do that part in the bridge of the song, and I'll just kind of make the way I usually do it, kind of music. And again, I think because of the format of this thing, I'm trying to get my hands into the shot if you're looking at this on a phone, because people keep asking me about the chord structures. Even though these chords are very, very simple, this is just D, G, E, and B. I think there's an F sharp in there too in the bridge, but here we go. So she says that Idaho is calling you home. Old friends and lovers returning your blows. So cry me a river, misunderstood, misunderstood, for all ever after. Knew that you would, how I knew that you would. I didn't turn on, you turned away. No one is listening anyway. So she says, Idaho is calling you home, and old friends and lovers turning your blows. So cry me a river, you misunderstood, you misunderstood, for all ever after. Knew that you would, how I knew that you would. And I didn't turn on, you turned away. No one is listening anyway. No one is listening anyway. Because time is the best at forgiving, and time is the best at forgiving, and time is the best at forgiving, and time is the best. She says, Idaho is calling you home. Thank you. Image is grainy, but maybe it's just my phone. I kind of assume the image might be a bit grainy. It's sort of intentionally mood lit in here because uh, you know, we're gonna sacrifice, professional lighting in favor of vibes. So I think the vibe is cool. And, I'm almost 50 years old, so me looking a little grainy isn't the end of the world for me. Anyway, hey, Dubin. My friend Mike Dubin, who's just jumped on here, he's the guy who did the all the artwork. He took all the photos and did the layout and everything. Anything you see from the Salton Sea record stuff, that's all Dubin. That's all the Dubes. So everybody give him a round of applause. Yay. Okay, questions. Please feel free to ask questions. What's the story behind Kind of Go to Pieces? Okay. So I put out a record in 2013, or did it come out in 2012? I don't remember. Around then, that had the unfortunate title of Wrist Slitter. And I didn't mean it to be an offensive title. I meant it as it's something that a friend of mine used to say when he would talk about depressing music. He would say, "Oh, that's a real wrist slitter." And it's a very insensitive kind of inside joke, but I don't know. I thought it was a title and a good title, and so I went with it. But that's not what you asked. So there's a song on there that's called "Kind of Go to Pieces," and it's interesting because I think I've written a lot of songs in the past that are sort of fortuitous about what I'm going through later in life, and that song was specifically about the idea of performing and then having anxiety about it, and then also sort of feeling like out of place, but still keeping it together enough to be a performer. At the time, in that time in particular, I was going through a lot of sort of identity anxiety, I guess, of just like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I stopped playing music for about a year and went and worked on a farm. And that record was me kind of coming out of that and deciding that I wanted to try and play music again. And it was just sort of it's sort of this concept that I've tried to talk about, and sometimes people get it and sometimes people don't. And I'm hoping that like in this forum, again, being here with people who maybe understand this a little bit better, as opposed to just the random music buying public, music listening public, is that like I had real anxiety about being a performer and being why being a relatively successful singer in a rock band and a solo artist didn't make me happy. And I really struggled with that because it's one of those things where like there's this stigma about, it feels like you're not supposed to like say anything negative about the job, and that you're just sort of complaining. It's that kind of like shut up and sing thing. And so that's kind of what that song is about, Kind of Go to Pieces, because I kind of go to pieces, but nobody believes me. And then I got to say Keep It Like a Secret, which is the name of a Built to Spill record, which I thought was kind of a nice little kind of pun. And if you see the music video for that song, that's my friend Eric Moline, who at the time was the world air guitar champion. And he's also the drummer in the band Ultimate Fake Book from Manhattan, Kansas. And he's sort of playing the spirit of rock and roll that's sort of chasing me around Lawrence, Kansas, trying to get me to be a performer again. So that's a very long answer to a relatively kind of simple question. I could try to play that song for you, but I don't know that I remember all the words. I haven't played it in a while. I don't think it's going to be one that we do on the tour. See, this is one of those things I was talking about last time, that like I have to figure out the first line of the song, and I could probably figure it out. But I mean, I'll just play you the chorus so that if you're not familiar with the song, you can at least understand what I'm saying. So it goes like, "Kinda go to pieces, but nobody believes me. Kinda go to pieces, but nobody believes me. I keep it like a secret." See, not even remember what all the words are to the chorus even. So that was a mistake that I just did that. And I hope that you'll forgive me. And maybe that's the song I should have in the way this set's going to work out at the shows is that like it's going to start with me and the kids playing, which I keep calling them kids. They're adults. They can vote. And but they're gonna play like I think 12 songs with me, and then I'm gonna do a set, sort of like a split set of like just sort of stuff like this, which is more like how the house shows were that I did earlier this year and last year. That um it was more like as much like storytelling as it is, you know, performing, which is another reason for me to kind of want to do these live streams more regularly because like I can already tell like right now I'm stumbling a bit and I'm saying a lot of uhs because I'm trying to like figure out what I'm talking about, and this is helping me kind of kind of become more comfortable with that. So I appreciate it. I did try, and I think that maybe next week, maybe I'll run through that one this week, and I'll come back next week and I'll fucking crush, kind of go to pieces, just for you, my friend. So, I'm gonna play a song. So on the Substack this week, I posted a video. It started snowing here a week ago, and I thought I'll go stand in the snow and film myself playing a song. And so I set up my tripod and my phone, and I stood in the snow. And then I got too hot, and I took layers off. I wanted to like not look like I was, I don't know. I wanted to have it look just right. And then by the time I got comfortable with it and how it looked, and I did a couple of takes of it, I was fucking freezing. And so I can kind of hear my voice quivering in there a little bit because I was so cold. But so now I can play this song for you in the warmth of my garage, which I don't know if you can hear the space heater going on in the background, but that's how I keep my garage warm, which is where my office is. So this song is called "I Don't Pray," and I can tell you a little bit more about it after I play it because I'm worried I'm going to get the words wrong. And so, and if you're guitar nerding out, this is basically a C chord with a lower G at the bottom of it. So you're doing like an F shape, but on the E string. And everyone thinks I'm playing Campfire, Kansas, because that's the chord that starts on, which is like. That's right. But that's not what I'm playing. This song's called "I Don't Pray." Don't pray, been known to speak to a force or a void or a spark bigger than me. These days, I'm gonna recite, won't cast any spell to repel stars in the night. Some say it's the only cure, but I'm not totally sure. Don't pray, gonna recite, relive. My history's full of transgressions I can't forgive. These days, don't need to explain. It's the suffering sound of the silence that eases the pain. Some say you'll come around. We'll just have to wait you out. You choose, almost forgot. That line is sort of an afterthought. Don't pray, still I believe that I need to survive, buried in me. Oh, that was terrible. I fucked that one up all sorts of which ways. So I threw myself off because I'm playing a different guitar than I usually play, and I realize now that I'm playing the Martin, and I'm wearing a Martin shirt, and so I look like I am a walking like endorsement, like I'm a Red Bull rep or something. Like I remember there used to be at bars, it would always be like Camel. People who worked for Camel cigarettes would always be like wearing a bunch of Camel shit and like giving it away. I look like I work for Martin Guitars, but I don't. I got the shirt for free, but I did not get the guitar for free. Mm-hmm. But if Martin wanted to send me a guitar for free, that would. If you guys in the chat know anyone at Martin that would like to give me a free guitar, that would be great. Good talk. Anyway, the neck on this guy is a little bit smaller than the Taylor I've been playing, and so when I went to this D chord, I fucked it up. It's also that I've been playing a song with the kids that has a different D chord in it. It's like this, and I think I went to that. So, and I fucked the lyrics up. And thank you guys for being here to remind me how much more I need to practice. I really appreciate that support. All right, hit me with a question. What do you got? Still, there's a light. Some of the songs are in a country or Americana style, but they aren't that style on other recordings. What is the story behind that? So, if you're not familiar, I put out a record called. I put out an entire album of music called "Still There's a Light" that never got a proper release. It was only a bonus. It was originally a bonus CD that came with the first time I did a Kickstarter, which was in 2012, which was a record called Mayday. And I then took I think there's 12 songs on there. I then took those and put them on Bandcamp. So you can it was Bandcamp Friday this last week, and so you can go to Bandcamp and find the Still There's a Light record and listen to it and buy it and all that fun stuff. But I was in a place where the New Amsterdam's band, which was Billy, Eric, and Dustin, was really kind of going in a more. I was taking it in a more like country. I think at the time I was really infatuated with a lot of bluegrass and a lot of like more on the country side of singer-songwriter stuff and less on the kind of like balladeer side of it. And I think at the time really just wanted to like live in that space to kind of get out of the whole like emo thing. Which is kind of silly now that I think about it, but that's just sort of like where my head was at the time. And so I was realizing though that like I couldn't really make that a sustainable, like in order for me to like go on tour and take those three guys plus a pedal steel player and a keyboard player, and like it was just cost prohibitive to like make it sound good. So, but anyway, I ended up recording that record at a studio here in Lawrence with Mike and Katie, who were in a band called Truck Stop Honeymoon. and it's he played Mike played banjo on it, and we brought in this gal Betsy who played in the band called the Wilders, who was a local sort of like, I don't know that they were necessarily a bluegrass band, but they were kind of like an old timey band, I guess, like a string band, if you want to say. But they were a fantastic band. I don't know if they still play shows or not, but she's a fiddle player and she's amazing, and she played all the strings on that record. But yeah, it's pretty different from like anything else I've ever done, and so I think when I wanted to use those songs for other projects, I sort of like stripped them down. The first solo record that I ever did, which is called Confidence Man, is really just like stripped down versions of other songs that I had or had been working on. So yeah, that record's fun. There's a lot of like, I mean, there's full on pedal steel on some of it, and like full on fiddle on some of it, and then there's one song that's called "This Side of the Rainbow" that was supposed to be a song in a tourism commercial for Kansas, and uh, they ended up not using it. They wanted a different song, but I was just like, I wrote this response to "Somewhere Over the Rainbow," but they didn't use it. I bought it on Bandcamp and was surprised in a good way. Oh, cool! If you want to be really surprised on Bandcamp, you can get a record that I did called La Sorda, which is me and Dustin. If you don't know Dustin Kinsey, he was playing in the New Amsterdams with me for a long time, and now he's the keyboard player in the Ghetto Kids. So he's very much a prominent figure. But he and I did this side project with our friend Nate, who used to play in the band Fun, and then had now moved to Sweden, and a couple of other local. Oh, Mike Stramberg, who plays with Kevin Devine, and our friend Susanna Johannes sang on it. And the whole premise of that was to like write songs in the studio, and then I wrote all the lyrics and the vocal melodies and stuff, and had I just sang like demo versions of it, and then I had Susie came in and sang the leads on it, and I sang the harmonies on it, and that was just a really interesting like. It's fun to do projects like that, like the Radar State Records, kind of another one that's like that, where it's just sort of like it's like there's no expectations behind it. It's just sort of like a fun project. So that's over on the Bandcamp too. And then if so if you want to keep tabs on all the things that I do, which can get a bit tedious, as Jeff Tweedy said, I'm always trying to leave people wanting less, and so yeah, that's where that's at. I'm not sure what the point of where I was going with that was, but yeah. So I have a new record out, and it's called The Salton Sea, and I'd like to play you a song from it. I just did play you a song. Oh, I was going to tell you about what that song was about, which hopefully I'm not talking too much. If I am, just tell me to shut up. This is the one opportunity that you will have to tell me to just shut up and sing, and I will actually respect your opinion on it. Because I realize I could be just rambling a bit. But so that song, it's called I Don't Pray. And it is a song about how when I was in the early days of recovery, after I got out of the hospital and got sober, that I was involved in a secret society of drunks. And at least the version of it that existed here tended to be more Christian God heavy than I really wanted in life. And that's because that's not really my bag after 12 years of Catholic school. I'm sort of, I mean, I kind of am reformulating what I actually believe in right now. But what I do know is that all I know is that I don't know, and I don't feel the need to like have to explain what the belief system I have is, or why it is, or that it has any rules. And so I had to kind of find other paths to like community in sobriety, which I think is an important part of, or at least I guess I could say this for myself. The community aspect of sobriety is a very important part of it to me, but I just couldn't hang with the kind of shame-based Christian vibe of this particular group that I was in. So that's what that song's about. It's not an anti-religious song. It's just sort of that's just where my head was at and like what I needed from that time. So I'll play you another song from the record and probably give you an over explanation of it. This one's easy. So this is a song called Barrymore's, and this is so the record tells a story of like the end of my drinking career into sobriety, right? It kind of takes place in this like 6-month period from the fall of 2022 to February of 23. And it's about the dark times and going into the hospital and getting treatment and getting better and going into recovery and all that stuff. But this song is a song about when a time in my life when the drinking was still a positive thing and it was still like a happy time, because as any good addict will tell you, it starts off great and then things are awesome until one day they're not, and then everything just kind of from after that. For some people, not for everybody. I'm trying to be really careful about that. I'm not trying to like, I'm not selling anything to anybody except for my new record, which you should totally go buy from my website. Anyway, this is a song about a trip that we took to New Orleans, which is a place that one of my favorite cities in the country, in the world, really, and about a trip that we took, and just the revelry and the drinking and the good times, and then at some point on that trip is the first time that I noticed I'm basically kind of blind in this eye because of blood vessel burst in my eye, and it was kind of exacerbated by like blood pressure and diabetes management and drinking and stuff like that. And so that was kind of I had this like fog in my eye, like it was like this black cloud that was like showed up in my eye on that trip. So everything's fine. I have another eye, but that's what that's about. So this is I guess I'm starting to say this is a happy song, but that last part made it sound like it's not. But it's called Barrymore's because if you're familiar with the Barrymore family, Drew Barrymore's parents, grandparents, great grandparents, there was a long history of alcoholism in their family, and it's killed a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the line came to me that was, "We drank like Barrymores." Kind of, I don't know. Maybe it's a bit insensitive, but I think the line works. So here we go. We drank like Barrymores until we fell over courtyards and corridors without getting older. No pictures and stains every hour of the day. The great God and escape. We danced like Barrymores, like nobody was watching. Earth on the cobblestones at every other haunted road. My home away home, the cracks start to show. Made of Mother Crow. Coming down from on high, clouds in my eyes. We lost the second line. Live like Barrymores in pictures of the past. before the storm came rolling in, before the crash. Do that better. There you go. Thank you very much. That was Barrymore's. Please feel free to ask me any questions. If you're late to this, or if you're not late, there's no late. It's just whenever you decide to show up. But if you haven't heard this before, the big news is that I moved. I want to do this live stream every week on Mondays because I usually have days off on tour on Mondays, and I should be able to still do this on tour, at least the talking part of it. Who knows if I will be able to, I won't want to sing on my day off, but certainly I can still talk to you guys, or write notes on a piece of paper and hold it up to the camera, which I've also done on tour before when I need to be on vocal rest. And then the other thing was I moved it over to Substack because I just feel like this is the term that gets thrown around is curated, but that makes it sound like this is like a commodity, and I don't really think that it is. It's a place for me to like try out stuff and interact with people and practice and kind of work on my orating skills, as it were. But I think that like Substack is a more I think it's more geared towards people who are actually interested in what I'm doing, as opposed to just random people on Facebook who maybe have heard a Get Up Kid song, because that's not what I'm doing at all. Okay. Is there a draw to writing songs mentioning geographical area, or is the connection of an experience that happens there? Is there a draw to writing songs? There's this thing like I found I wrote a lot about Massachusetts early on because that's where my wife went to school, and I missed her. And so I just wrote a lot about that place. And I found, kind of accidentally, that people seem to like it when you mention where they're from in a song. Not that that's a reason to do it, but I have found as a lyricist that the more specific I can get, the better. I think the more interesting the lyrics become, and so using geographic specificity and stuff is kind of a trick about that. I try not too often to mention the name of a city or a state. I'm trying to think now. I guess I have a song called Idaho, a song called From California, a song called Mass Pike, A Newfound Interest in Massachusetts. So yeah, I guess I do it a lot. Ann Arbor. Fuck. Okay. So moving forward, I'm going to try and not do that, be so specific about like, this is the name of a state. I think it gets a little hokey after a while, because like you get to a point like where every time I go to Boston now, people are like, play Mass Pike. And I'm like, I mean, I will. The band will play Mass Pike. I'm not going to do it anymore, but like the band will play Mass Pike. We always play Mass Pike when we go to Boston. It's sort of like, duh, you don't have to shout it out. But it's not, I don't know that it's intentional. I travel a lot for work. And so a lot of my experiences tend to take place in certain cities and parts of the world. Are you aware of the ongoing references to Mass Pike they make on the Axe to Grind podcast? No, I'm not familiar with the Axe to Grind podcast. Tell me about it in the chat. Dover Peaks. Yes. The White Cliffs of Dover is the first thing you see when you're on the ferry from Calais in France into England. And I do know that they are called cliffs, not peaks. They don't have peaks because they are just cliffs. But I could not find a word that rhymed with cliff in that song. The song's called Out of Reach. And so I went with Dover Peaks. And I get corrected about that literally every time I ever go to England. So I'll be in England in May, and I'm not going to be taking the ferry because I'm just going to be in England. I love taking the ferry from Calais to Dover. It's fantastic. It's about an hour long. And it's like just enough time to like just chill out on a boat and like look over the water. So, but that song's about traveling, specifically to Europe the first time, and so the Dover Peaks, which are not peaks, they are cliffs. I like that story in the book. Cool. P much any mention of '90s emo Ortega makes Pat from Drug Church self defense co-host start singing Matt Pike with poorly motivated. Oh, okay. Okay, pretty much any mention. Okay, sorry, I didn't know what P much any mention meant. I was just like, is that a euphemism for something? But that's cool. Oh, it's the guy from Drug Church. Okay, I like Drug Church. Cool. I didn't know. I'll have to check that out. Axe to grind. Maybe they should have me on sometime, and I'll harmonize with him when he sings that song poorly, as you're pointing out. So that's a song that's got some fucking legs on it. That's not about anything. That you write something that's just sort of like throwaway filler, and it's just like all of a sudden it's like one of your most popular songs, at least in that region, which is kind of a funny thing. But it's literally just last night rhymes with Mass Pike ish. So that's what that song's kind of about. Yeah. Let's see what else is going on. Rehearsing for the tour, doing lots of plugging shit for the song shop. If you're familiar, I do custom songs for people. Maybe somebody here has had me do one. And Christmas is usually a pretty a busy time for me of doing song shop stuff. I did offer some song shop stuff orders with the Kickstarter, those are taking priority first. I got the first couple of those out today, and I just kind of keep working on that. And then I filled all the Kickstarter orders. So if you are a Kickstarter supporter and you have not received your stuff yet, please email me, mattpryorsongs@gmail.com, and I will make sure to get you sorted. And then just rehearsing for the tour with the kids. And so eventually, if I can convince them to, I'll have them come out and we can play some songs for you guys on the stream at some point. So, and I've been wanting to like write more stuff. So I've been trying to really focus on the post that I made this week where I played that song, I Don't Pray, talked a lot about the kind of like winter blues and like creativity and how find at this time of year, I'm almost never on tour at this time of year. And because the weather's, it can be treacherous, especially if you're in a van, like trying to get to a show in this kind of weather. And, but I find that I start to get this sort of like seasonal depression. And so I didn't get it last year because I was working on the Salton Sea songs the whole time. So I've been writing a bunch, and I've actually been fucking around with, alternate tunings a lot more, which is something that I've never really done. This song is not in, this song's in standard, but I'm working on a song that I'm hoping to share online in the next week or so. There's going to be a post about this, but then the basic premise is that like someone pointed out that I've never put out a Christmas album, and I started writing this thing about how I don't particularly like Christmas music very much. Not because I don't like Christmas, but because I just think the bar is really low for I think if you can write a mess song and have have sleigh bells in it and it kind of gets played. So I'm trying to write a quote unquote Christmas song that would be more in the like Sufjan Stevens version of a Christmas song. Not that I write songs like that guy, but just in the sort of like abstract sort of Christmas song. So that's the challenge. But I started writing it in a tuning that's called Dad Gad, so this is EADGBE, and it would be DADGAD, Dad Gad. which is like a blues tuning, I guess, is what I've been told. So anyway, I'll be working on that this week too. So maybe I'll play that next week on the stream. Every Monday night, 8:00 Central Standard Time, right here. Sign up. Hopefully next year there will be other stuff involved with the Substack. I'm gonna do this in lieu of something like a Patreon. I think this is a better format for what I'm doing because I can do more essays and stuff like that, which is something that if you read my book, plug away. If you read my book, I found that writing a book, I really enjoy writing essays and stories and stuff. So yeah, I'll play another song or two, and if you have any other questions, let me know, and we'll see you next week. So. I'm not sure what to play. For the mark of the century, I was turned into weeds. Congratulating the clever and me so discreet. Professional imperfectionist makes demands like a child. Have you been under the table along with a smile? It's been a while. All my kingdom to dissipate now. Let the panic commence. I couldn't tell you the hemisphere, no offense. All my kingdom to disappear. Time I ship to the shore. Don't mention my name out loud anymore. To the world. La da 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 la da 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 la da 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 da. La da da da, la da 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 da, la da da da, la da 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 da. Thank you guys very, very much. I think that's gonna be my last song. The again, I'm gonna be doing this. I'm trying to stay within this frame here. I'm gonna be trying to do this every week, and there's hearts that came up. That's cool. That's the first time I've noticed that. You learn something new every day. So I'm gonna be trying to do this every Monday at 8:00. And so if you guys have any thoughts, any suggestions, I know it's a little bit grainy probably because of the lighting, but I don't know that I don't know that like the vibe of me turning on the ring light and being like blinded is really what I'm going for here, because I want this to be comfortable for me too. So I do know that next week I need to learn Kind of Go to Pieces, and if I finish the Christmas song, then I'll play that for you as well. And then if you have any other requests, you can either put them in the chat or you can email them to me. And then, per usual, my policy on requests is if you make a request and I both know how to play it and or want to play it, then I will. if it's a song that I'm not interested in playing, then I'll just tell you that straight out. Because this is just this is as much for me as it is for you. It's actually probably more for me than it is for you, if I'm being completely honest. But you know, that's just the way this is going to work. So I hope that you gonna hold you to kind of go to pieces. Okay, I'll work on it. I'll work on it. I may have to print the lyrics out. I may have to do that thing that's sort of embarrassing where I have to Google my own lyrics and then go through them and correct the ones that are wrong, which is pretty often. So yeah, all right. I hope that you guys come back next week, and I hope that you enjoy your holiday. And if you want to go to my store and buy some shit, that's cool. And if not, don't worry about it. And oh, but if you do want to come see me on tour next year, please do. Uh, I haven't done a proper U.S. solo tour in a really long time, and I'm a little bit anxious about it. So I think it'll be fine. But you know, if you want to buy tickets, that would be cool. And otherwise, I'll just see you here next week. And everybody, take care and have a good night. Thanks. Bye.